Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for stopping by once again. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and press the bell notification button so that you can get notified every time I upload a video, because who knows, you might actually like what you see. Today I'm reviewing the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation and Concealer. It's a little bit of a mishmash of a video, this one, because today is Sunday. I've just filmed this look, so you will see this makeup again in another video, sorry. But I actually reviewed the foundation yesterday, which was Saturday, which was probably the best day for me to review it because I was going out and stuff. I wasn't just staying in like I am today, like a loser. But yeah, so I reviewed it yesterday, I filmed a couple of snippets, and I'm sort of filling in the gaps and tying it all together today with this kind of sit down video. So let's stop waffling on and get into the review. So as you can see, I decided to use the Primark Hydrate primer, and this was really just to go with the whole theme of the foundation and concealer review, because they are conceal and hydrate, so I thought that might be best. So just with that one. So moving on to the foundation, this is obviously the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation. I picked up the shade F2. They do have 50 shades, but Superdrug I went to, they didn't have all 50. I remember feeling surprised at the coverage, the amount of coverage that this foundation offered, because it's a hydrating formula, and even though it does say it's medium to full coverage, I didn't expect it to be as nice as this coverage or as much as this coverage. So I do remember feeling quite surprised that, like, you can see it in my face, I'm like, wow. I've done half a face to show you. Yeah, there you go. Surprised at the coverage. So then I decided on the other half of the face to use a brush. And I'm pretty sure I immediately regretted it, because I don't usually use brushes to apply foundation anyway. But I just noticed that it left the foundation looking really, really streaky. If you can see there, just underneath my eye, there's a massive patch of streaky foundation. And it just doesn't blend as nicely as a beauty sponge. You can see there it's left a whole chunk of my face out, even though I've gone over it. Yeah, that part there. And I'm trying to sort of pat it on, but it's just not working, so I go back to the sponge and just blend it all out, make sure that it's all covered properly. So then moving on to the concealer, I am the shade C1, and I really like this concealer because of its size. It's got a huge doe foot applicator, which I really like, and I'm using just a smaller beauty sponge to blend that out. I really like how much brighter my under eye looks with this concealer. I don't think this is particularly a brightening concealer, I think it's more to do with the shade, but I just like the way that it brightens my under eye. It's very easy to blend as well. Bit of an embarrassing story to tell about this concealer, but when I was swatching it in the Superdrug store, I won't tell you what one, just in case anyone that works there is watching and recognised the mess that I made, I swatched it on my hand, tipped the concealer tube upside down, and it was only a few seconds after I'd done that that I'd realised all of the concealer was running out of the tube. I pretended not to notice. I pretended to, I don't know, I just kind of put the doe foot applicator back in the tube, put the tube back on the shelf, and went to pay for my stuff. And when I got to the till, I had all foundation and concealer all over my bag, and I pretended to the cashier that I had no idea how it got there. I was so embarrassed that I just left it. So here I am just showing you the coverage in light. And then I am going to set that with the Revolution setting powder. I think this is, yep, medium yellow. Such a mess. This powder does make a lot of mess. And I'm just using a big fluffy brush to set all that foundation and concealer in place. And it was at this point I noticed how smooth my skin felt. So that's me kind of touching my face, see how smooth it is. And I noticed as well that it seemed to all settle into the skin nicely. Impressed. And there it is, all set in the daylight. Pretty good coverage. So it's 9:30. The foundation's been on for 4 hours. And there's a bit of creasing under the eyes. It's coming away from around my nose a little bit, as you can see here. And it's a little bit oily across the nose and here. So it's 10:30. The foundation's been on for 5 hours and I'm definitely looking like I need some sort of powder across my face. Yeah. But bearing in mind, I did use a hydrating primer, so that probably doesn't help it. And if you get oily skin quickly, you probably won't want to use this foundation. But other than that, the coverage is still quite good. But I would say that it does need a little bit of a powder at this point. As you can see there, a little bit oily. So just to conclude, the foundation concealer does exactly what it says on their labels. It is very hydrating. It's a really hydrating formula. It's quite a runny formula as well. I noticed by the end of the day that it was wearing off in the usual places that foundation kind of does tend to wear off. So I wouldn't say that this is a long-lasting foundation, but to be fair, it does not claim to be. So there's not much else to say about that. It doesn't claim to be a long-lasting foundation. It is a radiance foundation with hyaluronic acid, medium to full coverage. And the concealer, radiance concealer with hyaluronic and acai, medium to full coverage. You know, and as you can, you'll see in the video once I apply it, that it is really good coverage and it leaves a really nice finish. I usually have a little bit of an issue with different foundations. Sometimes they don't kind of sit on my skin, just across my nose and just here. But this foundation doesn't seem to be having that issue. It does kind of wear off here throughout the day and just a little bit around my nose and just in this little bit of a dip that I've got just here. But other than that, I absolutely love the coverage. I love the finish. I would say that if you are somebody with really oily skin, you're probably not going to get along with this foundation and concealer duo. But if you're somebody with maybe combo skin like me or dry skin, then you're going to love this duo. I think maybe I made the mistake of using a hydrating primer to go along with it, because I thought maybe if I could use a hydrating primer, it will go along with the theme of hydration. But I don't think that helped the situation of it becoming a little bit shiny throughout the day. I didn't actually touch up yesterday, not at all, not once. I was wearing it from 5:30 until about 10:30. I think the last update I filmed was at 10:30. But but I didn't take the foundation off until about 11:30, 11:45 last night. So I had it on for quite some time, but like I said, this foundation does not claim to be long lasting, so you can't bash it for that. I did also notice quite a bit of creasing going on the under eye area, and I can't tell whether that was the concealer doing that, because it actually started to do that once the concealer was on and just before I set it. So I don't know if the foundation was doing that and it was just accentuated by the concealer, or if it was the actual concealer doing that. I'm not too sure, but there was a little bit of creasing, which little bit annoying, but I guess that's not the worst thing that a foundation can do. You could have bigger complaints for a foundation, for definite. Would I say it's the best foundation and concealer duo that I've ever used? No, but I would say that it's better than average, just because of the really, really nice coverage and the finish that it gives as well. That's the end of my review. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you did enjoy it. Let me know in the comments below if you think that this foundation and concealer is going to be for you, and if you are going to run along to Revolution website or Superdrugs or wherever they stock it and add it to your basket. I know that I was pretty keen to add it to my basket, and I don't regret that at all. I definitely will be going back to this foundation, but that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.